Are you ready to do battle, or you want to be a wallflower? Seriously. So many Christians are totally defeated because they don't know how to do battle. One of the first passages the Apostle Paul made a really strong emphasis is found in Ephesians 6:11. He says this, "Put on the full armor of God that you may be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil." And yet there in a day that goes by that I don't meet one Christian after another Christian that lives a defeated life. Backslidden Christians, carnal Christians, Christians that think they're spiritual, but they're, according to the Lord Jesus Christ, they're spiritually naked. I wasn't going to continue this, but the more I thought about it, the more I read, the more I see how ignorant, naive people are against how to do warfare, how to do battle, and they're losing out. You don't like this? Turn me off. Go listen to some guy that will, pat you on your rear and tell you how nice you look and what a wonderful life you're going to have. And then all in the process, all these tragedies come in, because your pastors and people that have not prepared you how to do battle. When I was in the service and growing up in the service, they taught us how to do battle, but only to a certain limit. Some of the greatest commanders that I've ever been under are the ones that wouldn't tell you what to do, okay? They would just tell you what you needed to do. But because you were properly trained, you would take your initiative, your skills, your talents, your initiative into ideas and put them to work in order to get the job and the mission done. God has done the same thing with us. Go into all the world, he told us, and do battle. And we lost. Here in America, we lost it. I said this 8 years ago. The battle was lost. Okay? It's been lost since the early 60s. Okay? Even before then, a lot of it was lost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this and show you how to do battle. If you want to learn, fine. If you don't, fine. Okay? There's a clip that's going around on this, the show in the 70s, 80s, I think, was Seinfeld. And Elaine has this boyfriend who's kind of a doofus, but he has a way of getting the point across. And he's very religious, and Elaine is not. So Elaine asks her boyfriend, she says, "Does it bother you that I'm not very religious?" And he said, "No." And she says, "Well, why not?" And he says, "Because I'm not the one going to hell." That dude was so hilarious. And she was just shocked that he would say something like that. Yeah, Satan's goal is to take you to hell. He knows he's going there. Okay? So he's trying to get you. I'm going to show you all the different schemes he uses, from psychology to hypnosis to drugs to alcohol to immorality. I'm going to show you all the different ways, to cults, to religions, that he captivates you. Okay? And I'm going to show you how to do battle. I'm going to also show you what he can do and what he cannot do. I'm going to show you where your power lies and where it doesn't lie. And where he wants you to put your power so that you can lose the battle. Okay? I'm going to show all that to you if you want to stay with me. Okay? This is not for everybody. Okay? If you are a weakly minded individual that doesn't like to think and doesn't like to engage in conscious activity, turn this off. Go watch cartoons. Okay? It doesn't bother me at all. Okay? But if you're serious and you really want to get down to business with God, then pay attention. Okay. Put on the full armor of God. an armor. I don't know, you see these cops going out? They put on that vest. Why? Because they know that it's a protective shield against a penetrating bullet. Not all bullets, but some. And it gives them some measure of protection. But in this case, God is saying, put on the full armor, not just a partial armor. And I'm going to talk about that. But first of all, we need to understand that every Christian and every human being has three enemies. We have three enemies, whether you like it or not. The three enemies are up here. The cosmos, or the world, and I explained that. The devil and the flesh. What is the cosmos? The cosmos is that world system that Satan operates. Popularity, okay? Trends, fashions, wokeness, psychology, all that different stuff that's involved in the cosmos through education, through religions. Okay, and for every enemy that we have, God gives one word as to how to do battle with them. But let me explain the three enemies real quick. The cosmos is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. The lust of the flesh is passion. Okay? No matter what it may be. The lust of the eyes is possessions. No matter what it may be. It could be a person, it could be a job, it could be material things. And the worst one is the pride of life. Setting yourself to be autonomous. Not taking advice. Thinking you're better than other people. Selfish. It's the pride of life. It's the ultimate sin that caused Satan to downfall and all those other fallen angels to follow him into rebellion. It's the one thing that gets teenagers separated from their parents. Okay, pride. They think they know. You get to high school, by the time they're seniors, they think they know everything. First year of college, they wonder what happened. Okay, I know when I graduated with my master's degree, we all had the same idea. We don't know anything. We learned enough to know that we do not know anything. It sends you back to God. Okay, so the cosmos is all that. Lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life. It's the whole world system that is headed up by Satan himself. He's the one that creates the agenda. He's the one that creates the popularity. And the Bible has a real good solution for that. You know what it is? One word, flee. Flee, run. Have nothing to do with it. You cannot be a friend of the world and a friend of God. It doesn't work. You're either going to love one and hate the other. And it resonates all through the New Testament. Okay, the devil, what are we to do? Resist. It doesn't say to talk to him, and I'm going to get more into that in a minute. People will, get you behind me, Satan. Satan, I cast you into hell. Listen, if you keep casting Satan into hell, can I ask you a question? Who keeps letting them loose? He doesn't listen to you. There is nowhere in the Bible where we're commanded to talk to the devil. Nowhere. Or for that matter, angels. Unfallen angels. You do not talk to them. You talk to God. You pray to God. Okay? And those of you that have been talking to angels or are trying to talk to demons, stop it. You're not making God very happy. Okay, last enemy, the flesh. That's not this. This is the temple. It's that part of you, that sin nature part of you, that wants to do what you want to do apart from God. Okay, it's that independent, autonomous spirit that everybody is born with. So we got three enemies, the world, the flesh, and the devil. For the world, what are we to do? We're to flee. For the devil, we're to resist. What does resist mean? Okay? And it says what? And he will flee from you. You don't go running from the devil. Okay? He has power to do some things, but he doesn't have all power to do whatever he wants. Later on, as I'm going to go through this, for those of you that are serious, I'm going to show you where your power is. Okay? and then for the flesh to deny it. Take up your cross and follow him, and do what Jesus says. Be willing to give up all. For the sake of what? It's an exchange life. Galatians 2, the life I live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God. Okay. Now, a couple things. You got to learn how to resist the devil. And that's why in 1 Peter 5:8, it says, be of sober spirit, be on the alert. Your adversary, the devil, prowls about like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour. Now, you've all been to zoos. Or you've seen on the Discovery Channels, lions. Man, that's a pretty scary thing when a lion goes roar and they come up there in the ground. They're right in your face. That's the image that is portrayed here of Satan. But it's not just a lion. It says he wants to devour you. Okay, I'm getting ready to go hiking with my son up north. There's bears and cougars up there. So I was watching some shows on what do you do if you're confronted with one. And they actually showed some where people have been devoured by them. Okay, so I'm not going up there unprepared. Trust me. I'm preparing myself to do battle if that occasion should arise. Okay, I'm not looking for the battle, but I want to be prepared. I'm not going to go up there, just twiddling my thumbs. We're going to have bear sprays and pistol and, whistles and different things. But we're prepared. You got to learn how to deal and build. In the movie The Godfather, very interesting line. He says, get close to your friends, but get closer to your enemies. You got to understand the enemy in order to do battle with them. Okay, and it says this in verse 9. But resist him, firm in your faith, knowing that the same experience of suffering are being accomplished by your brethren all over the world. Christians are doing battle, and a lot of them are winning. Okay, let me move on. I'm going to get so much on the world and the flesh and all that. I got so many notes here. Okay. There's no doubt that Satan exists, and we have already talked a little bit about the existence of fallen and unfallen angels. Let me talk a little bit about the constitution of Satan, his makeup. Okay, first of all, Satan has intellect. Okay, he has the incredible ability to scheme and manipulate world political leaders and events. In 2 Corinthians 11:3 it says this, but I'm afraid lest as the serpent deceived Eve by his craftiness, your mind should be led astray from the simplicity and purity of devotion to Christ. He's very crafty in how he goes about doing things. And I've already told you, Satan cannot attack you internally. He does it if you're a Christian. He does it to you externally. If you're not a Christian and you're listening to this, you're open to all kind of attacks by Satan. And his goal is to get inside of you and then to possess you. That means to control you, to get you to do his bidding, okay, to do his will. He needs ambassadors too. He needs foot soldiers, just like any commander would. And he's good at getting them. He's been doing it for thousands of years. Okay, Satan tempted Jesus. And how did he tempt Jesus? He tempted him by Jesus, trying to get Jesus to act independently of his relationship with his Father. Okay? He also got him in those 3 years to get into the round. Come on, worship me and I'll give you all this world, the whole world for you to see. He got him hungry. Hey man, I can turn these stones into bread if you turn to me. He often does that, huh? Let me ask you, you get tempted? I do. When are you most vulnerable? When you're sick? When you're tired? When you feel like giving up, Satan comes along. Again, for Christians, he does it through outsiders. Maybe somebody you thought was a good friend that turned out not to be, or a family member. Or, where it's hurt me the most, from people that came in from the church. Isn't that terrible? You think Satan doesn't have a lot of people in the church today? Why do you think at the end Jesus says, I'm going to separate the sheep from the goats, the wheats from the tare? Because they're all mixed up until they get separated. Well, the story of Robin Hood, the wolf coming along. But he's not dressed like a wolf. Okay, he's like a little lamb. But inside he's what Paul rightfully describes as a ravenous wolf, seeking whom he may devour. Ravenous, not just a wolf, a ravenous wolf. Okay. Satan has emotion. Okay, it's clearly seen in his hatred of God and his hatred of you and me, of humanity. Okay? His desire is to frustrate the plan of God. That's what happened in Genesis 6. That's what he tried to do with Adam and Eve. Okay? And all through Scripture, he's trying to frustrate it all the way to the end. Satan has a will. In Isaiah 14, 12, 13, and 14, the prophet, how you have fallen from heaven, O star of the morning, son of dawn. You have been cut down to earth. You who have weakened the nations. But you said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven. I will raise my throne above the stars of God, and I will sit on the Mount Assembly in the recesses of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. I want to be God. God said, okay, I'll see you. Boom, he went down. Every time you try to act independently of God, based on your own pride, and every time you try to set yourself elevated above others and God and his word, thinking you know better, then you have become a partner with Satan. You're just like him. Okay? Here's a will. He said all those things. He said, if you go back and look at, I will. He says all these things. I will do this thing. Remember the story of Nebuchadnezzar when he says, look at what I did by my might, by my power, and my kingdom. Next thing you know, what happened? He's down in the fields for 6-7 years eating grass like a donkey or a cow until he came to his senses. And then God restored him. Okay, that's all I'm going to share for now. There's so much more coming. You don't want to be a defeated Christian? You're going to have to do battle. Okay? That admonition to put on the full armor of God is not meant for just some. It's meant for every believer. But if you want to grow in the Christian life, then you're going to have to face obstacles. You're going to have to face battles. And you're going to do it in God's strength, and ultimately you're going to end up winning the war. Okay? I've lost a lot of battles in my life. Many of them. Too many to count. But I'm winning the war. Okay? And God's going to bring me all the way to the end. And then at the end, his angels are going to escort me to heaven unless Jesus comes first and raptures me out of this cosmos system that is headed up by Satan and his puppets, many of whom you know right now. God bless you all. I'll bring another message before I head out. Bye-bye.